I will be late to my own wedding if it ever happens. I will be late to my own funeral, but I apologize for being late for happy hour. Something that actually really got its start, gosh, thanks to the military, actually. I think that's what they used to describe a little break, a little respite from the military after a hard day's work. So thank you and welcome to Happy Hour at Home. I'm wearing these Elton John-esque glasses for a couple of reasons. I just got them. They're my new favorite thing. And because we're really hearkening back to the golden age of the disco era with a vodka cocktail called the Harvey Wallbanger. All of that to come on today's episode of Happy Hour at Home. But aren't these delightful? $16, best money I've spent in a long, long time. The Harvey Wallbanger, never had one. If you've had a screwdriver, yes, the cocktail, we are just a far cry from that. Just a short hop, skip, and a jump. Because what we're going to add to your vodka and your orange juice, it would be fresh squeezed on a better day, but let's be honest. I missed the exit from my own workplace today because of the fog. We're going to use Galliano. It's an Italian liqueur. It is vanilla flavored. It has all sorts of different herbs and spices in it, cinnamon, let's see, star anise, things like that. And a little goes a long way. It is rare, if not impossible, that you would use more than like a quarter ounce in your jigger, 1/4 ounce for any cocktail because it is super sweet too. So we're going to add that, very herbaceous, to our vodka and our orange juice. And one of the things to love about this cocktail, you can mix it up right in the glass. It doesn't require a shaker, doesn't require any special tools or equipment. And so here we go. Let's see. We do need the glasses though. We do need the glasses. And the original recipe called for 1 part vodka, 2 parts juice, and 2 parts um, Galliano. That would be syrupy sweet, but they were drinking these things like no tomorrow, no doubt, in Studio 54. So we are going to use some vodka. And if you check your labels, you'll see that, yes, vodka probably was created by the Russians, let's be honest. But this one is made in the USA and it's gluten free. And vodka has a really interesting history in this country too. I mean, you'll notice most of the cocktails we've made have been either pre-prohibition or prohibition. And that's because gin was our go-to clear white spirit. Vodka didn't really become popular or wasn't even really seen in this country until the 50s, but it was really popular. I mean, like the most popular drink during the golden age of disco. So, like in the 70s and into the 80s. Now, it calls for 1.5 of, well, and that's what I already just did. 1.5. Okay. So, kind of on the light side of a cocktail. But I will say Galliano is like, what is it? It is quite potent to say. It is 42.3% ABV, alcohol beverage volume, alcohol per beverage, whatever. ABV, I swear, I'm doing okay. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of that. We're just going to add a quarter of the jigger, 1/4 ounce, because that's the way we roll. And let's see, let's get a nice sniff. Again, too bad we don't have smell-o-vision. Definitely smells like liquor, and it does smell herbaceous. It doesn't smell super sweet, but we know it is. So we're going to do that. Actually, we're supposed to float that on top, but I screwed up already. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Sue me. Don't tip me. I don't care. Let's see. And then we're going to do 3 ounces of juice. Again, it said freshly squeezed. I did get the no pulp. I'm sure it was freshly squeezed at one point with the calcium just because, we're being healthy. So I'm going to do 3 ounces of this. Again, you're really supposed to float the Galliano on top, but I didn't. Sorry about that. And then I have another glass, not because there's a friend coming over, but because you're like, what else would I use this bottle of Galliano? And it's not inexpensive. Um, Probably, I don't know why, because I mean, it's imported. There's that. Um, it's in secret and ancient formula, but bottled here in the US of A. Well, bottled in Solaro, Italy. But yeah, so this is it, Galliano. Look for it. And I don't know if it came in bigger bottles. Might not because again, it's a liqueur and a specialty, and it smells delicious. So, all right, we're gonna mix that up. It called for some of the recipes called for like 10 ounces of liquid. I don't know where that 10 ounces is coming up. I mean, I'm no math genius, but I do know that much. Okay, and I have a blood orange here, and let me actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this on here. But yeah, the Harvey Wallbanger. Why is it called the Harvey Wallbanger? Who was Harvey Wallbanger? Well, we don't know exactly. We think we know maybe who created the drink, and in the 50s. Um, let's see, how do we want to do this? I saw them doing it all sorts of creative ways. Let's see, the garnish. Garnish with your, there you go. This is going to work much better. It's a large orange. What can you do? And because I still don't have any like plain maraschino cherries, we're using a bourbon cherry. So that's what we're going to do. But the Harvey Wallbanger, born in the 50s, it was made by a bartender named Donato Duke Antone. Duke made this cocktail, as legend has it, for somebody, a surfer in LA, in a bar there. Now, was it the surfer Tom Harvey, who I guess was going bar from bar and knocking his board around? Or was it made for another guy um, who got drunk after surfing and went bar to bar to bar and was hitting his head? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, oh, see, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate for our cocktail. But there we go. Let's try a sip of this. But again, it's made with a 42% ABV liqueur, Galliano, your favorite vodka, and some fresh squeeze if you have it, bottled if you don't. See, this is the only thing about garnishes is they kind of get in the way of a good time sometimes. Let's shove that in there. Mm. It's been a long time since I had a screwdriver too. But yeah, you do. You get that lemon, or I'm sorry, the vanilla. You get the herbaceousness of it. It is really good. But what we do know about post-war America, World War II, I'm talking about, was the returning soldiers and the screwdriver. They loved it. For whatever reason, they loved it. It was an easy spirit, and maybe they picked up on vodka overseas. It really didn't catch on in America until at least the 50s. At least the 50s. Oh, see, that's going to be unfortunate. That's going to go up my nostril. Mm-mm. That's a great drink, though. That's good. Yeah, I mean, it makes it not quite so sweet with the herbs and spices. Like I said, the star anise. Um, it's really good. I like that. That's a good, refreshing cocktail, made with your favorite OJ, or. But it was popular with Cary Grant. It was popular with Errol Flynn, very popular actors in their day, at a place called Trader Vic's, which was known in the Los Angeles area for their tropical drinks, right? It's kind of tropical, it's fruity, um, and they were known for their tropical drinks and their garnishes there. So that's why we always love a fancy garnish. Not that that's super fancy, but if you've ever watched Mad Men, their drinks were like super sweet and they loved their garnishes. Hmm. Mm. But so maybe it was named for this beach loving guy in the LA area. Maybe it was named for a Manhattan beach surfer who would come in and order it like his own concoction, his own creation. But it really took off, weirdly enough, in the disco era. So I'm sure Studio 54, if you've ever been, never been, too young, it was huge. And it really, really took off thanks to a marketing campaign. In 1969, a marketing guy, a salesman, was going around New York. And by 1970, this was the most popular cocktail in the US of A. Again, before my time, way before my time, but my dad used to make us special drinks like Shirley Temples and whatnot on Sundays while they enjoyed their Manhattans and whatever else they were drinking. Hmm. But that is delightful. Yeah, but the popularity eventually fell off because in America we started loving our beer and our wine, but it's still hanging on. The Harvey Wallbanger is still in the new classics Bible of American cocktails. Thank you to the Bartenders Association. You can also make with this something called a Dorado Old-Fashioned. It uses tequila or mezcal instead of vodka. It uses what else does it use? I think it uses lemon juice instead of orange juice, or there's something called the Jose Wallbanger, which sounds really interesting. It's lemon juice. Let's see. You want to use honey syrup and mezcal, all of which I have. Actually, I don't have any honey syrup at the moment, but I could whip some up in a minute. But the history of vodka, like I said, really interesting because it was, very popular with the czars of Russia. It was upper crust. It was that kind of thing. But during the Russian Revolution, um, people, helter skelter went hither and fro or whatever, hinder and yon, whatever the word might be. And it really just appeared in Moscow. And in the mid 15th century was the first time that we really start seeing records of it. And by the 1950s, the late mid 20th century, it was still really just popular in European countries. So it makes sense that it was a post-war thing that sort of gravitated over to America slowly but surely. Now, why did vodka really take off? Maybe even in New York City, again in the 50s. You can lend that to another genius salesman who had to push some vodka, and so he was like, "Get rid of the Moscow Mule. We want that out." And people, they want what they can't have. So of course they wanted to try this contraband Moscow Mule, and that helped launch tequila, or I'm sorry, vodka, and hither and yon. What am I even talking about? I don't know, but there's all sorts of people all over the country that make vodka. Yes, Russia. Poland is, if not second, it's right up there with Russia as far as a maker. Like they make Kettle One. There's Grey Goose. That's France, obviously. Belvedere is another brand, and Absolute. That's Sweden. Stolichnaya, sounds Russian, not Russian. Smirnoff was another brand that started, and it started off with a V at the end. And it was a guy who buddied up with, I believe, another guy he met in France during the Russian Revolution. And they decided to partner, and they went in for $50,000 to start distilling Smirnoff vodka. And, the rest is history, as they say. Miami has a bar called Red Square. Ever been? Anyone? Anyone? I hope they're doing okay lately. Not so sure, but it's a Russian themed bar, obviously. They've got over 100 vodkas on the shelf, and they make delightful cocktails. But it's really, it's taken off in popularity, as you know. I remember when people were either Kettle One snobs or Absolute. I mean, that took over marketing in the 80s and maybe even the 90s. And Grey Goose, people were like, I prefer my Grey Goose. And now it's Tito's. Everyone wants their Texas vodka. Hmm But not always made from potatoes, by the way, as I've come to learn. Let's see. It is gluten free. Yeah, see, this is distilled from corn. I thought all vodka was made from potatoes, but you learn something every single day. Of course, vodka can be used in my one of my favorite dishes to make. From Nick and Tony's, it's a place I think it's in the Hamptons, East Hampton, whatever. Ina makes it. The Barefoot Contessa. It is a fantastic recipe for vodka sauce. So good. You bake the sauce for like an hour or more, and it's so fragrant. It kind of lends a little bit of a spice. I love it personally. And the term happy hour, like I was talking earlier, first mentioned in 1959. In the Saturday Evening Post, there was an article about military life. If anybody else knows more about that, do let me know. And in 1962, the very first James Bond movie, anybody? What was it called? Anyone know? Doctor No. Sean Connery ordered a vodka martini, shaken, not stirred, because we don't want to stir our gin, right? Which is what a martini actually is. So interesting, right? But that really helped launch the popularity. And for the very first time in history in America, in 1967, vodka outsold gin. And that, my friends, is history. Drunk history, not quite. Close, we're getting there. We're getting there. We were celebrating in a meeting today the upcoming second anniversary of 100.7 Big FM. It launched on April 13th. What would that be? 2000, the middle of a pandemic. And look at us now. And my coworker Hillary from 91X, she just celebrated 25 years to the day that she started on 91X. If you love alt music, true alt music, they've just gone back to their roots. They're playing incredible stuff. I'm a little jealous of some of the stuff they're playing. Some of my favorite bands like U2 and the Chili Peppers and things like that, and the music that really made that genre what it is. And they're great bands. And both of us have our very own apps. So I suggest you tell your smart speaker to load Big FM San Diego or 91X San Diego to get a complete picture of what great music is, to enjoy your Harvey Wallbanger, named for one of two Harveys. We don't know. But we know he was a surfer. We know that much. And he liked his cocktails. Mm-mm. So that's pretty good. I will have to try the Jose Wallbanger, like I said, with mezcal and lemon juice. That would be good. But this is good. I mean, it would be good in cakes too, I think. A nice like earthy vanilla, spicy Italian liqueur. I don't think you would want to drink this straight. Although, we could give it a little tipple, see what it tastes like in its purest form. Why not? It's just me. Okay, and that's barely nothing. Let's see how this goes. Oh, yeah. I mean, for as sweet as they say it is, but it's kind of on the back end. Mostly what you get are those herbs and spices. Like I said, the star anise, yes. The vanilla, yes, on the back end. Cinnamon, yeah, that's good. That's good. But if you want to make a Harvey Wallbanger yourself, what did I use? I used, what did you say, Yeah, cheers. Thank you. What's the best drink you know? I mean, you really can't go wrong with a margarita, right? A well-made margarita. And I am kind of a self-proclaimed margarita snob, if we must know. I really, really, I've loved so many of the drinks that we've tried. I really love how simple many of them are. I don't know that we've ever tried a gimlet though. But I do love the South Side, which is gin, I believe, and lime juice and simple syrup, named for Al Capone. South Side gin, that's what they were hustling on the South Side of Chicago. There's also a cocktail called the West Side, also made with, I believe, gin, or maybe I don't know. I have to go look that up. I've got a lot of cocktails in my brain. I really did love see, now you put me on the spot. I'm trying to remember. I've really liked a lot of them. It's almost easier to remember the ones that I didn't like so much, like the White Lady. Eh, it's kind of bland, like you would expect a White Lady to be. I'm trying to remember what's the drink that we had? Is it just the daiquiri? Yes, I mean, made well. I'm not talking about your TGI Fridays blended super sweet sugary daiquiri. No. I'm talking about a very simple cocktail with, I believe, what is it? Rum. Um, is it rum? Yeah, it's white rum. It's lime juice and simple syrup, I believe. Delicious, if I got it right. Yeah, I love that cocktail, just straight up, in a chilled martini glass or chilled coupe, if you will. That's outstanding. That's a great cocktail. Some other things we haven't made. Um, oh, I did really love, I drank them all last weekend. I drank strawberry gin Rickeys. Oh my God, if you can find some strawberry gin, it's pink in color. That should be a good sign. Amazing. And I put some frozen fresh berries in there from California, the sweetest I've ever had in my life. And it was delicious. I mean, but even just your regular gin Rickey, soda water, lime juice, and gin. Delicious. But again, you want to make sure that you are using a quality dry gin, like a great gin. Sex on the Beach, the drink. I haven't made that yet. That was, I think, another popular one in the 70s and 80s for sure. Jägermeister. Okay. Well, see, here's the thing with Jaeger is one of those liqueurs. Me no likey. Me can't do it. And you know why? It's because it tastes like black licorice to me. I love a little star anise, that licoricey, the real licoricey flavor. But Jägermeister, we're not friends. We can't be friends. I don't know the last time I had a shot of Jaeger, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I've matured. Maybe I'd like it better now. Mm. But your Harvey Wallbanger is going to be, what was it? 1.5 ounces of your favorite vodka. You want just a quarter ounce of Galliano, and whoa, and 3 ounces of orange juice, preferably fresh squeezed, as we like to do with all of our cocktails. But in a pinch, we'll go to the store. Yes, it's an old-fashioned drink for sure. Jaeger is evil. I tend to agree. Yeah, Jaeger and NyQuil. I feel like they are made by the same people, whoever those people are. Not my fave, but a really great clean drink is the best. And again, when you use your favorite spirit, if you're building your own bar, I would just find the spirit that you like the best. My bar, one of these days I'm gonna have to show it to you guys. It's it's um it's impressive for a little gal who lives alone and tries only to drink on weekends. Tries. It's not bad. But it's coming along. But what I would suggest is you really kind of make one spirit and one cocktail your house go to. So when your friends and your guests are coming over, they look forward to it. They know that they're going to get one great cocktail at your house that nobody else makes, right? Or nobody does quite as well as you. And it's a lot cheaper than going to your neighborhood bar, which is anybody charging less than like $15 for a cocktail anymore? Mm-mm. So whether you buy the big bottles at Costco like I do, but I think these are pretty good spirits. Most of them get pretty high marks. I think the spiced rum, which I have a bottle of, did not get high marks from Costco from their Kirkland brand, but the rest of them, not bad, not bad. And I mean, if you do the math too, I mean, how many vodkas are made in the USA? I don't know. I mean, there's one really popular one, Tito's, but I would spend a little bit more money to get something that you truly enjoy and that you can truly enjoy your cocktail. Because as my mom says, you're not supposed to drink them because you're thirsty. It's an experience. That's why we like to use the proper glassware and do our thing. And if I had any fresh squeezed lemon juice, I'd probably bust out and make the Jose Wallbanger. I could. I could. You guys want me to make a Jose Wallbanger? Because I'll just have to excuse myself from the camera for just a wee minute. Captain Morgan. You like Captain Morgan or no? Is that an endorsement by you? Let me get hold on. I'm going to get my Mezcal because I'm so tempted to try one of these and see what it tastes like. Where is the Mezcal? Okay, here's the Mezcal. Got it. It's hotter than Africa, by the way, in California, Southern California today. And I have the bottled lemon juice, which I don't like to go with, but uh, uh, I'll take one for the team. Okay, so let's see. Let's just build this the same way that we built the Harvey Wallbanger. This is on its side. It's looking a little random. Okay, and this is the Dos Hombres Mezcal. Not cheap. Whoever convinced me to buy this, God, what was this? This was, it's made in Oaxaca and in a tiny village tucked into the mountains of Mexico. Bryan Cranston and his partner on the show, who I don't know his name. I never watched that show in its entirety. Um, Anybody know it? Anybody? Anybody? 100% agave, mezcal, artisanal. So you know it's good. But this bottle cost me like like 65 bottles, but you can tell it's small batch. Wow. Because this is bottle number 4,595. Boom. And it's spicy. The thing about mezcal is it's like smoked. It has a smoky kind of spicy flavor because that's what they do. I guess they smoke the mezcal. Okay, it's got a little water going on there, but that's okay. We're gonna go okay with that. So I'm gonna pour same amount in here, 1.5 ounces of the mezcal. Yeah, it's like fired, wood fired or smoked or whatever. I don't know. And then we're gonna do 3 ounces of lemon juice. I don't know. That sounds like a lot, but it does call for like 2 to 1. So this would be much better if this were fresh lemon juice. I do know. It's not lost on me. Whoops, spillage. And then it's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa over here. Okay. I hope I like this because, like I said, this mezcal doesn't come cheap. And then I'm just going to do a 1/4 ounce floater on top of this, but I am going to do the right thing. Doesn't need any special ice cubes. I love that about it. You can mix it right in the glass. Then I'm just going to use a 1/4 ounce of this again for a little flavor. Okay. Floater, but I do kind of want to mix it up. I want all the flavors in there. Let's see how we like that. And since I have one orange slice left, I think that looks prettier anyway, right? Okay, so this is the Jose Wallbanger. Yes, mezcal to mezcal. Tart. I said it would be much better. I'm sure I'm not making that right. I wonder if it had any simple syrup in it or something. Wow. Yeah, mezcal. Oh, it does. It has some honey syrup in it. Wow. So let me use a little simple syrup that I have from one of our last cocktails. It's actually the turbinado sugar, so the raw sugar. Because, yeah, that needs a little something. It's very, very tart. Okay. Let's see how that does. I should try that again, though. I mean, a Jose Wallbanger, that would be an interesting cocktail to have on a menu. I don't think I've ever seen one. I don't even think I've ever seen a Harvey Wallbanger on a menu. Could be wrong. Lots of vodka bars. It's like a trendy thing popping up, and or um, just craft cocktail bars where they think they're being crafty. But I love that. That's better. That's better. Yeah, it's still very tart with all that lemon juice in it. Wrong capper. Wrong capper. But I do like that. I do like mezcal. I don't drink it very often. Maybe, I mean, we could do your basic margarita for which is going to have to happen, I think, the day before I leave for San Antonio. I'm going to be spending Cinco de Mayo in San Antonio, the Alamo, people. The Alamo. Can you stand it? I'm wearing my cowgirl boots on the plane. You know I am. I don't have enough chances to wear those things. I love them. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, that's good. I mean, anytime you have a great liquor and a great liqueur and some fresh squeezed juice, if you're using fresh squeezed juice, it's the way to go. You are not that old to know these things from the 50s. No, I'm not. I was not born in the 50s. I was not born in the 60s. 70s, maybe. Maybe I was. Okay. Blonde's favorite drink? 15. Is that the punchline? What's a blonde's favorite drink? 15. I don't get it. Did I screw up the joke? 7 and 7. It's called a 15. I don't know. That's cute. That's cute. So if you want to invest in a little something from Italy, liqueur Galliano. Here's the bottle. It's known for its tall, skinny yellow bottles. Again, I don't remember how much this cost, but again, it's imported. People, that's fancy. I know it wasn't probably cheap, but you're worth it. And everything in small amounts, as my mom likes to say. And look, I've only made, I think, 2, maybe 3 cocktails of this. I don't know what else I would have used this for, because there aren't a whole lot of things that call for Galliano. But nonetheless, just like the Italians, it's delicious. It's delicious, and there's nothing else like it. And so, we're just going to enjoy these 2 cocktails and call it a day. We've got one more day to go, people, to the weekend. hmm And like I said, I'm giving away more Elton John tickets tomorrow. Online too at bigfmsd.com. Are these like the perfect replica? And they cost me 16 bucks on Amazon. I love them. I absolutely freaking love my new glasses. They're so Elton. And if I get a chance to go see him again, I will. But I saw him a few months before the pandemic started in, what was that? 20 It's so hard to remember, in 2020, right? Um it was the fall, I think it was November of 2019, and I wanted to go so badly, and I'd seen Rocket Man, which had come out not too long before that, and I wanted to go, but I didn't really know anybody in Atlanta, nobody that wanted to go to the show with me anyway. So I bought my own ticket for more than $400. But you know what? YOLO, you live once. And I wanted to go. And I had a really good seat. I'm like, if I'm going to the show by myself, I want a great seat. And so I did have a great seat. Elton back then, I mean, I don't know if he'd had hip surgery then or what was going on. He's had some issues, so I'm pretty sure this is going to be the last tour around the sun, or at least on the planet for a tour. But he didn't get up from the piano much. That was fine. I don't remember if I think he did wear some glasses just like this. I won't tell you about any costume changes. It's not like the good old days where he was jumping around on stage because he barely got up from that piano, which moved from side to side of the stage, which was cool. Brought him closer, near, far at different times during the show. But he didn't get up much. When he did, he was kind of shuffling like a little old man. But we love him. Best music. He did not sing my favorite song, my favorite Elton John song, which my brother Dan paid a bartender at one of my favorite places to stop in Seattle, Daniel's Broiler in Bellevue. They have a piano bar in there, and like everybody who's anybody goes there. I mean, come on, it's so cool. And my brother paid the piano man $20 to let me sing along with him to Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatter's. That song is the best. I'm here to tell you that song is incredible. I love that song. Do I know all the words still to this day? Nope, don't, not so much. But so Cal, yes. Yeah, and what's for dinner? I don't know actually I do know what's for dinner. I had a homemade by our cleaning lady's daughter. She made some tamales that I bought off her. She made them last weekend and I finally remembered to bring them home yesterday. I got some steak and some chicken tamales. I only had one because they're huge. And but I bought six of them, three each of chicken and beef. And I'm, going to share those. I threw them in the freezer right away because I want them to last because they're good. But I'm also on a diet. Not that you would know. We're trying to anyway. Just trying to get into a pre-pandemic shape. And I'm working out like every day and exhausted. So there's that. hmm But, and I know that, juice, a lot of calories. But that's the one thing I loved about that gin Ricky last week. No added sugar. It was just gin, soda water, and you know, yeah, right, Joe. Is that the best song? Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters. If you're not familiar, I might have to play it on repeat after I get off here with you. How do you cook? Well, actually, so the tamales are already essentially cooked and they're wrapped in a corn husk. You steam them. I mean, that's the best way to do it, I think. So I just steamed them in a pot of water with a little colander over it, and I steamed it for like 20, 25 minutes. Delish. And then you unwrap it from the corn husk. I mean, you could get them not homemade. I mean, the first time I had them homemade was in Southern California, again, visiting my sister many, many years ago. But you can get them, I think, at, most grocery stores now, I think, would carry them depending on where you live. But I think at some point Costco had them. I think Trader Joe's has them too. I bought them from there, but there's nothing like homemade. And God bless Mexican women because they work hard in the kitchen. I'm here to tell you, it is for reals. Hi, Jim. How are you? Okay, is the corn husk? I wouldn't, no, you don't eat the corn husk, but the masa, which is wrapped around the filling, that you eat, and it is delish. So, yeah. So you can steam them in that. I think the ones that you'll get at Trader Joe's will have different cooking instructions on them, but the real ones you can just steam them over a bath of boiling water, and they are so good. So that's a wrap. I've been talking for quite some time. Chatty. I've been chatty, but I wish you guys a wonderful weekend. I'm going to go like strip down around here because again, it's supposed to be like 90 degrees today and I'm overdressed in jeans. I got to go put on a muumuu and drink my 1970s cocktail. The Harvey Wallbanger. Try it. I think you might like it. Just a quarter ounce of Galliano, which is your Italian liqueur. You're going to want an ounce and a half of your favorite vodka and then 3 ounces of OJ and garnish with an orange and a cherry on top. Love you guys. I will see you tomorrow on the radio, bigfmsd.com if you want to listen along. And until then, have a great day and a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.